Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Aaron's Beer Reviews. So, for my beer today, I've got another beer from One Drop Brewing Co. This beer is their Blueberry and Choc Muffin Nitro Imperial Pastry Stout. And it's 10.9% alcohol, and this is a 440ml can. So it's a pretty wet and miserable day in Sydney today. Showers, very cold, a few sunny breaks, but mainly, a dreary, rainy, cold sort of day. Typical for winter here in Sydney. So when I'm feeling, really cold and I just want to warm up, I love having a lovely stout. I always get excited when winter comes around because then I know it's stout season and all the breweries around here just released different varieties of stouts. And this one I'm really excited to try. I'll be honest, I've had it at the tap room before, but I've never had it in a can. So, like last beer I had from One Drop, the let's just call it the Thick Shake IPA. This is also nitrogenated, so it's a nitro beer. So all we need to do is give it a quick shake, like so, and then we pour. I always get excited when I open nitro beers. I just love the sounds of the can popping open and then just the visual of watching the beer slowly appear and the nice creamy nitro head rising to the surface. Can't wait. Let's do it. Beautiful. Wow. I don't know how One Drop make their beers or brew their beers, but just the aroma is unbelievable. Chocolate and blueberry just dominates the whole smell right now. It's amazing. I love it. So look at this. It's a very dark beer, obviously. It's a pastry stout. And look at that head it pours, and that will just slowly rise up. Wow, how great does this beer look? I'm so excited to try it. I love nothing more than stouts, especially flavoured stouts. Let's have a whiff of it. Wow. Chocolate and blueberry. There's nothing else that needs to be said. This is a liquid blueberry muffin, and it feels like it tastes like dark chocolate, and the dark chocolate just mixes so perfectly with the blueberry and combines well with the malt and hop bill they've used. A very clean style of yeast, I think, as well, and the blueberry flavour, a blueberry chocolate flavour, just dominates everything from the front end of the palate to the back end of the palate. All I'm tasting is choc blueberry. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a very, very tasty beer. I've always been fascinated with having blueberry in beer. Ever since back when I was first discovering craft beer, I went to my local bottle shop at the time, Botany in Alexandria, and I found a beer by Brewdog called Hello, My Name is Sonia. It was a blueberry IPA. I remember pouring it. It had a slight purple tinge to it, and the blueberry flavour really shone through over the hops of the IPA and the bitterness of the IPA. It was really enjoyable beer. Since then, I've always gone hunting for beers that contain blueberry in them. Haven't been disappointed since. Mostly the beers I've had are blueberry sours, so it's nice to have something a bit different, like the guys at One Drop have done with putting blueberry into a pastry stout. Really highly recommended beer, and I hope more breweries brew with blueberry and not just in an IPA or a sour. And blueberries can also be used in a dessert style beer, as One Drop have done here. Now, I mentioned in my previous video a little bit about One Drop. For those of you who don't know where One Drop is, they're based in Botany in Sydney, 5 Erith Street, Botany. relatively new brewery. They opened last year, 2019, and that's significant for them because the postcode of Botany is also 2019. I bought this beer at the brewery in Botany. I went for a drinking session with my really good friend Ben, one of my drinking buddies. They had a variety of different beers on tap. One that stood out for me was the Yakamanian IPA. It was a rather highly alcohol IPA which had hops included in every minute of the boil. So a typical boil lasts for 60 minutes. So just imagine a brewer standing over the hot rolling boil, and trust me, I've worked in professional breweries and it's not that fun just standing right on top of the boil. It's very hot. They also had their regular lager and XPA on tap, rather enjoyable as well. And my favourite beer there was this one right here, their Choc Muffin Pastry Stout. And that beer is served on Nitro at the brewery too. It's a very nice little setting at the brewery, large warehouse looking space. They had a food truck at the back. They've got this it's really great for winter. They've got this big fire pit. And even though myself and my mate Ben were sitting a little bit away from the fire, we could still feel it, and it was really warm and really toasty, really nice. It was great for this time of year in winter in Sydney. So we rocked up there at about 12:30 on a Sunday, and there was still plenty of seats available at that time. I do know we're still currently in the COVID restrictions, so seating was slightly limited. It was operating at a reduced capacity, but we got in at 12:30, just the two of us, and we were able to find seats. There was plenty of seats still around. So if you follow me on Instagram at Beer and Succulents, you'll see I drink a variety of beer from a variety of breweries. But you can see I've got a few favourites. Those being, of course, Wildflower, Mountain Culture, and Bacchus, especially Bacchus. I must say I'm very, very impressed with what One Drop are doing, and I think they are becoming one of my favourite breweries in New South Wales and Australia. So this is another stout style beer. So it's always important when drinking a stout to drink it at a warmer temperature out of the fridge. I let this sit out of the fridge for about half an hour, which probably still wasn't enough just because of how cold it has been in Sydney today. But even so, it is a very enjoyable beer. I wouldn't say it's a 5-star beer on Untappd like their Thick Shake IPA is, but it's very close. I'd probably give this 4.5 stars out of 5. A few weeks ago, I bought some dark chocolate coated blueberries from Coles, and I really enjoyed them. And I must say, I'm getting the exact same sort of taste from here. And like I mentioned in a previous video, it's very easy to get to One Drop. As long as you can get yourself to Central, all you need to do is catch a 3:09 bus to Botany Shops, get off the bus stop opposite the Waterworks Hotel, and walk about 5 minutes and you'll find it very easily. It's also great for families to go. Saw a lot of kids there enjoying themselves. Like I said, there is a food truck, so the kids were happy with a bit of food. For those who don't drink beer, they had some gin and some wine. I think they had vodka as well, but that had sold out. But they also recommend that even if you're not really a beer drinker, to try one of their sours, because people who generally don't like beer tend to enjoy sour beers. And that's just because of the acidity of those beers. It's very similar to what you'd get in a wine. I never read the description of this beer, did I? Blueberry and choc muffin. Sliced into this bold stout, baked with all the pastry delights. A full-bodied grain base, layered with waves of flavour. A distinct combination of sweet and tart blueberry, rich artisan vanilla, dark chocolate and cocoa nib, with hints of brown sugar, all mixed together by a creamy nitro pour. This is the perfect dessert in a can. Big blueberry love to you all. So what I took from that, which was really interesting, I'm not really getting much of that vanilla taste, but I mean that could probably, maybe it's getting masked slightly by the sweetness. They use both sweet and tart blueberry, and I can definitely taste that. They've also added brown sugar. So when you add brown sugar to a beer, you can tend to thin the beer out a bit, because just by adding pure sugar, the yeast will just convert all that into alcohol. There's no unconvertible sugars like there would be in a malt bill, for example. But even so, it's a very thick, creamy, luscious beer, and I wouldn't have known they've added the brown sugar to it. It's not thinned out at all, as would be expected when adding just straight sugar to a beer. If you watch my previous video, you'll see I agonized over buying a single or a 4-pack of the custard IPA. In the end, I bought a single, but then I had to go back for a 4-pack. This time again, I've only bought a single. From memory, it was $18, I think. But if I were to go back and buy a 4-pack, which I'm considering, it's $58 for a 4-pack. This is part of a twin release, this beer, with another blueberry beer. We have this one, the Dark Choc Blueberry Muffin Pastry Stout. And they also released the Double Take, which is a double blueberry imperial sour. Unfortunately, when I went this time, the Imperial Blueberry Sour wasn't on tap. But I look forward to trying it. I might have to go to the brewery and pick that up as well, because, like I mentioned, One Drop is fast becoming one of my favourite breweries here. Anyway, that's about it for today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this beer. Still got a little bit more in the can here to go. I'm loving these larger cans. So for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram or Untapped, I will put my names just down here. And also, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you like this style of beer reviews and beer commentary, please subscribe, and also click the bell to get notified every time I release a new video. And also let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this beer, if you've had it. For those of you who aren't in Australia, tell me if there's any similar beers overseas. I would love to know. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get my hands on them. For those of you who are based in Australia, again, if there's any breweries, any local regional breweries in your states that brew this style of beers, please let me know, and I would really love to taste them. I've enjoyed this beer immensely. It's a sipping beer, you know, it's 10.9% alcohol. It is a beautiful thick stout, and you know, probably a nice beer to enjoy after dinner as a dessert. That's about it. Have a good day or evening wherever you are out there, and cheers.